Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Across the Fence, I'm Fran Stoddard. Over the past 40 years in Vermont and elsewhere, there's been a resurgence in the age-old agricultural practice of outdoor grazing. Grazing dates back centuries. But during the 20th century, many farmers moved their livestock indoors, where the animals eat hay and other silage. The growth and awareness of sustainable agriculture in the 1990s prompted farmers to return to their roots, putting their animals outdoors to graze in the pasture. University of Vermont Extension is a longtime leader in teaching and advocating sustainable agricultural practices. And today we're going to meet the leader of Extension's Grazing and Livestock program. Joining us via Zoom from his office in Morrisville is Andrew May. Andrew joined the UVM Extension Center for Sustainable Agriculture in July as the Grazing and Livestock Program Coordinator. Good afternoon, Andrew.
Hi there.
Welcome to Across the Fence. So tell us a little bit about your background and where did you grow up and go to school?
Sure, absolutely. So I grew up in Southwest Ohio, kind of a rural, semi-rural, semi-urban area. And I went to college in the mountains, Appalachian Mountains of Western North Carolina, which is where I really started getting into my agriculture and food side of my life. And from there, I really just bounced around for a while. I was in Maine for a year or so, and out west for a couple years before coming back to the East Coast to get my graduate degree. So, and then moved here in July.
Well, let's go a little bit deeper into your professional background because it is interesting.
Sure.
And it is geographically diverse. So share a little bit of those things that you've done and where those were.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started off in Western North Carolina. I worked for a few different nonprofits and really became interested in school food solutions. So helping school districts to access healthier local food to serve kids, predominantly children that were receiving free and reduced school lunches. So that's where I really got my start. After that, I kind of stuck with the school food thing for a while and operated a school garden and a school lunch program. And from there, I started getting more interested in research. So out west in the state of Oregon, I did some more research and started getting really entrenched in communities and figuring out what it was that communities needed in order to have really sovereign, functional, sustainable food systems for their community or for their region. So I helped to do some food system analysis stuff with some organizations in Kansas and in Oregon and in Massachusetts and in New England as well. So yeah, lots of stuff.
Wow. And now you're here. So, and as the Grazing and Livestock Program Coordinator with UVM Extension, what are your responsibilities? What are you charged to do?
Yeah, well, my main responsibility is to be a point of contact for grazing programming at Extension. So I wouldn't necessarily consider myself the leader of the program, just more, so one of the catalysts, and a point of contact. So I meet with and connect with and learn from organizational partners across the state, who are working on grazing related topics. So folks at the state level at the Agency of Ag, great connections with folks in the Department of Environmental Conservation and folks at the federal level and of course all of the really fantastic nonprofits throughout Vermont. So yeah, I help to coordinate research for faculty at UVM, facilitate meetings and strategic planning for the staff and just kind of drive the program forward.
Right, and research is so important to really know where we're going to next. But so why UVM Extension? Why did you want to be here and are you familiar with Vermont?
Absolutely, yes. So I, like many people, I took trips to Vermont when I was younger and obviously fell in love. What's not to love? It's easy to do. But when my partner and I were out west, we wanted to be closer to family. So we have family in New England and settled on Vermont. It was not a tough decision. Specifically in Extension, I really enjoy extension networks, and each state has an extension program. So I see UVM Extension as this really incredible catalyst between the academic side of the equation, the grassroots, between the academic side and the grassroots efforts happening on the ground in communities. So I was really excited to join UVM Extension for that reason. I wanted to help conduct research in an academic setting and help to figure out solutions to some of the state's biggest agricultural challenges and work directly with communities to help solve some of those problems at the farm level. So I'm right where I want to be, and I hope to be here for a long time.
Awesome. And what do you want farmers and certainly livestock farmers in particular to know about what you have to offer?
Yeah, just mainly to remind people that the Center for Sustainable Agriculture at UVM Extension is here, and that all of the staff and faculty who work at the center are specializing in a lot of really great topics. Particularly some folks doing really incredible grazing work, and we are here to help. We have a great number of staff, and we're hiring some more folks, and we're a resource for farmers in Vermont, and livestock producers in Vermont. So we're here for you. We're here to help, and we're really looking forward to connecting with you.
Awesome. And if you're just joining us, I'm visiting with Andrew May. Andrew joined the UVM Extension Center for Sustainable Agriculture in July, where he is the Grazing and Livestock Coordinator. So Andrew, what are the benefits to raising livestock on pasture?
Yeah, it's a great question. Grazing systems can be the pinnacle of meeting agricultural and environmental goals concurrently, including solutions for land, nutrition, climate change mitigation, water quality, community, economic development challenges. So really just a huge number of things. So from the environmental perspective, well-managed grazing systems can help to create a sponge, so to speak, to soak up rainfall and eliminate the nutrient runoff of soil. So really improve the quality of the soil and the soil health to help it increase the soil formation and the fertility of soil. As I mentioned, the climate change adaptation and mitigation, soil acts as a carbon sink, so sequestering more carbon than is released, and grazing can really help with that. From a social and economic perspective, livestock farming has a huge number of economic opportunities. Food, fiber, and forests are kind of what we say, and it can help to create viable businesses, and those businesses can connect through their communities. And I'm sure none of this is new to the folks that are engaged in farming and agriculture. So just a helpful reminder. But grass-based farming managed well, it works in concert with natural systems. And instead of spending energy and money, struggling against natural systems, it works together. So,
well, let's talk about some of those challenges too, because you're only a few months into your job, but from what you know now, what are the challenges for pasture-based livestock farmers?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of money in some situations, especially for folks who are looking to transition to grazing from a more conventional approach that you mentioned at the beginning of the program. So there has to be a commitment from a producer, but also just the basic essentials like having the land to graze in the first place can be a challenge for a lot of folks, especially when land prices are so expensive and raising, continuing to become really expensive. So that's a huge issue, is land access. Other issues that I just mentioned, it can take a long time for the benefits of grazing to become apparent. It can take a while to increase that soil fertility, to increase that soil formation to where it can start sequestering carbon. It can take several years. So that's a big challenge for people as well that may want to see more immediate effects. But the benefits are worth it. We know that.
Well, let's get into the benefits just a little bit more. So you see, when you transition from containment to pasture, you're talking about the soil is better, but what other benefits for farmers?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing that became clear to me early on was this kind of revitalization of the working landscape of Vermont. The visual appeal and the attraction of driving down the road and kind of seeing that pastoral grazing landscape is really important as well. With any new system that you're creating, or if you transition into grazing, that's a whole new community of people, right? So farms and businesses get connected to one another through that. They can transfer knowledge and share information with other people, and it can oftentimes save them money if they have the land, if farmers have the land and are able to graze in that way and don't have to spend money on feed. That can be a huge money saver for farmers. So, sure. And we're seeing that now too.
Okay, so UVM Extension, of course, is an educational outreach organization. It helps people, get knowledge for their work? What will your outreach programs look like? It sounds like you really love going out into the community. One.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I am hoping to get out into the community much more than I have been. That's for sure. But yeah, as the season kind of winds down and farmers have more time to meet, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, as far as the outreach programs, we have some folks at the center. Who are starting to do some really great outreach work for small ruminant dairy folks, sheep and goat farmers, which I think shows a lot of promise for the future and is a gap that we needed to fill. So we're in the middle of ramping that up and hopefully becoming really successful at that. But we're also starting to work towards an outreach initiative for targeting new, young, and beginning farmers that are interested in getting started in grazing or transitioning to grazing. So, yeah, the Center for Sustainable Ag, I think, has a lot of really great outreach programs on the horizon.
Fantastic. And one of the largest grass-based farming events is the annual Grazing Conference. It's held in January. Can you just give us a bit of a preview about the 2022 conference?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's the 26th annual Vermont Grazing and Livestock Conference. The title of the conference this year is Grazing as the Roots of a Thriving Community and Healthy World. So it's, as you said, it'll be held in January on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And it'll be virtual, so more people can access it. But yeah, the Vermont Grass Farmers Association is the co-host along with the Center for Sustainable Ag. And the conference is really fantastic. It brings together experience and new farmers, lenders, service providers, and non-farmers seeking to learn about ways to align with and support well-managed pastured livestock production.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Andrew, and for more information, just want to get this out about Grazing and Livestock Program at UVM, or to learn more about the upcoming Grazing Conference, you can check the website on your screen, or you can email Andrew. He's at andrew.may@uvm.edu. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck to you in this new position.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
And thank you for joining us across the fence. I'm Fran Stoddard. Stay well.